What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we are in the midst of the Monster Hunter World beta, and I've been playing it pretty well non-stop for the past 2 days. For only having 3 hunts, there is a decent amount of stuff to do. If you're willing to try it, and if you're willing to find it, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think, everyone's it's only 3 hunts, it's only this. It's like, yeah, but in the Monster Hunter world, people are used to battling the same monsters over and over again. Maybe with different gear or all the rest of it, because that's what you do. That's what you do in Monster Hunter games. You battle the same monsters to get gear, to get the parts, to get, your new armor, your new weapons and stuff like that. So, okay, you don't have to, you don't have to have, lots and lots of hunts for us to find a decent amount of content out of a beta this size. First off, how do I feel about the beta? How do I feel about the game itself as we're seeing? And it is a small sample size. And I will say that the 20-minute hunts it hurts it a little bit. I would prefer it to be 50, but I understand this is probably just the floor build that they've got. They take to shows and stuff, and it has to be 20 minutes, or else they'll have people sitting there for an hour or so just playing the game. Like you have to keep it short, and I get that. But I wish for the beta they bumped it to 50. But oh well. I really love what they've done with the game. I really love what they've done with Monster Hunter in general. It has been upgraded. It has been upgraded. They've done a lot of quality of life changes. Let's face it, a lot of Monster Hunter mechanics are quite old. They are very old. They're very clunky. And there are some that I really like. And I kind of wish was still in the game. Not moving when you're drinking potions and stuff like that. I like that. But there's other stuff like, animations for gathering, and, just small little things that make it, the tent where you can go in and change your gear and get stuff out of the item box. Like, all this stuff is fantastic. It really is, because it brings Monster Hunter forward into the current generation of games, sort of thing. But, you got to be careful with that sometimes, because you don't want to, take away what makes Monster Hunter and why people love it so much, So, how have I liked it? How have I liked this beta? I've enjoyed it. I've pretty much played single player. I've dabbled in the multiplayer, but for me personally, I generally play Monster Hunter solo. I do dip, from time to time into, multiplayer, games and stuff. Get 3 more people in and go on big hunts and stuff. But I like going mono and mono against monsters. I like that. It's my type. This is the way I play the game. So I've primarily played it solo, but I did check out, the matchmaking and stuff like that, just to see how that works. And we'll get into that. But the biggest thing for this game that changes it from the other Monster Hunters that we've seen before is just the worlds themselves that you go into. For me, it's like Monster Hunter meets Horizon Zero Dawn. Games like that, which are, with, wide open areas with different ways to go about it, different ways to swing from vines, and, it is a world. It is a world. It is like, the psychology. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but you see the creatures interacting with each other, and you see that with the monsters. You literally see that with monsters and how they interact with each other. So they've created a world here which isn't just broken up into little zones that's sparse and just has flat textures and stuff that we're used to with Monster Hunter. There is no load screen between zones anymore. It's all open. It's all one big zone. But they do have, labels on zones so that you can say to people like, hey, he's in 12, hey, he's in, 10, whatever. But it's almost a little much at the start. You feel very, like, I'm getting lost here. it's taking me a while to get to things. It's definitely can, from someone who's used to playing the older Monster Hunters, that doesn't have this, it's a bit of a shock a little bit. But you do get used to it. And, you start using your map more. You have a map. You can tag things so that your little flies can, your little, like, scout flies, I think they call them, will guide you to where you want to go. There's fast travel between multiple hunting camps now, which is freaking fantastic, because that way you can get across maps quickly, and it doesn't cut into your time. So, which is very good with this 20-minute freaking, beta. And I like it. I like it. I love the world that they've created. And it's a world that changes too. And by the way, like, what I mean by that is, like, it's breakable. The monsters destroy stuff. And, like, perfect example right now. When you're versing Rathalos, there is a dam that he's probably going to break into, hopefully at some point here, where he smashes into it, and the dam breaks, and you can use all that water that comes out. And when I first saw it, I never knew about that dam. I never knew about it. So I was like, holy shit, this is like... It was very, very cool. And, Rathalos got, taken off the cliff, and I dug it. I dug it a lot. It was very cool. Here it goes. It was really cool to see. I loved it. There's other things like that, like the monsters getting tangled up in vines. There's little tribal cats. See, there he goes off the cliff. Stuff like this. It's all over the place, and it is very good. And monsters can smash into places, and new areas open up, or areas that had like little small, entrances, and now a big, wide, monster-sized entrance. It's great. It's great. You can, jump and swing on vines attached to little bugs that there's. So your little grapple hook attaches them. You swing. Aerial stuff, because you can mount onto the monsters and stuff. The world itself is just, taking Monster Hunter to the next level in that way. The world was never the focus for Monster Hunter. It was always the monsters. It was always the weapons. It was always the armor. Because that's what, the core gameplay of Monster Hunter is. But now they've addressed the world too. And, damn. Like I said, it gives you that, open world RPG type feel, with like Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that. So, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's very good. And then you got to get to the core gameplay. This is fighting monsters, because this is Monster Hunter. So this is what everything is about here. And the world and stuff is all great and all, but if it's not good, at what it's meant to do, then we gotta have a talk there. But it does. It's very Monster Hunter. It's very much from all the other ones that I've played. It is very similar to all of them. They've done some changes. They've changed, I think some combos have been changed. They've changed a few little things, added things, taken away things. I don't have all the specific details and stuff. I'm sure there's someone out there that will give you everything that's been added and everything that's been taken away and all the rest of it. But for me, I generally play Switch Axe and stuff. The Switch Axe feels the same as what I've played since Try. So it's all, generally, it all feels the same. And, which is great. Monsters themselves, specifically Rathalos, I think they've upgraded their behavior in places. In places they've upgraded. Like, he's... definitely a lot harder than he used to be. The move sets aren't the stock standard repeat move sets that they always do. They got a lot of variety in them, which is a good thing and a bad thing. And I will say, and this is a bit of a negative here, especially with a bigger map that doesn't have load screens, so the monster just doesn't retreat into the next zone. They go nearly halfway across the map sometimes. They retreat a lot. And it can be a pain. It can be a real pain. Like, you just get going, and they retreat again. And it's like... And it feels like there's no set point. Like, I get it, their health bar is going down, like their invisible health bar. but I kind of wish that they would, maybe tweak that a little bit. Especially when you're fighting, like, you're not meant to be fighting Rathalos. Like, this is just another creature that's in the area. You're meant to be fighting, like, Anjanath and stuff like that. That's who you're supposed to be doing, but Rathalos is right there, so you gotta fight Rathalos. And, he's flying around, and he flies to multiple points, and it's always the same points, so you get used to it. But sometimes he feels like he's there for, like, 2 seconds, and he's flying off again. So, hopefully they can tweak that a little bit. This is what this beta should be for. Not that, betas are really betas anymore. But hopefully they can make it like little tweaks there, just on time and stuff like that. I think with a 50-minute hunt, it won't be so bad. I think 50 minutes is, especially for the bigger guys, Rathalos, fights. The 50-minute is far better than, rushing for the 20-minute, and it's gonna fail anyway, but, the rush for the 20 minutes is a bit of a push. But yeah, it definitely, there's a lot of, it's got that core gameplay that, Monster Hunter has always had, but they have made changes. And one of them is, small little changes, like, potions. You can now move while you're drinking potions. And for me, I liked the fact that you had to stand still and drink your potion, so that means you had to pick your spots right. You had to make sure that, the monster had literally, committed to an attack. Then you would take your potion, so you had to figure out your little spots. But I do like that you can move now. And they changed the way the heal is. It's not an instant heal. After a certain period of time, then it's boom, you get the health. Now it's a consistent heal as you drink. So it's probably a more realistic sort of, way of doing it. But yeah, stuff like that. The slinger. The slinger's a nice little component. It basically is taking away throwing, which was always it was never the greatest mechanic in Monster Hunter, really. The slinger's a nice little thing. You can, like, put your knives into it. You can put, bombs, different stuff like that. So, definitely a nice little addition there. I like it. They've got, like, capture nets and stuff, so you can capture smaller little creatures, which I think plays into your resource gathering, but also I think these creatures go back to your house. Like your little village that you go back to, so that's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know that for sure. It's just things that I've heard from people. But that would be kind of interesting, taking little creatures back. And they are around, like there's little like squirrel things and bugs, and there's old little stuff around, so it's very cool. So yeah, the slinger's a nice little addition there. But yeah, I mean, I primarily, like, what I played through the beta, definitely on the hunts and stuff, was the switch axe, the charge blade, the great sword, and I dabbled a little bit in the bow. All four, which I had played prior, they all felt very similar to what I had played. They all felt very similar to what I played. None of them felt like, oh, that's not what I'm used to. If anything has changed, it felt better. It's a lot smoother. That's the biggest thing. It's a lot smoother gameplay. Like, especially with the switch axe and the charge blades, which transform. Like, there's a mode that you switch between. Those mode changes are so much cleaner. They're so much sweeter. The combos that come off of it are so much nicer. It's a big upgrade, and it's a very, very nice one. So I dug it a lot. I just had to get used to the PlayStation controller. I'm so used to the more, especially with the accept and cancel and stuff, that I had to get used to again, because I've been playing Monster Hunter with Nintendo controls, so I'm used to the accept button being on the, what's it normally, the circle button on the PlayStation. So I was pushing circle instead of X, and it's there. So I had to get used to that a little bit. But there is a little bit of customization there in the options to change some stuff there. So I do recommend you have a look at the options stuff too, to tweak stuff to see if you really like it. There's camera lock, which was in 4U, I'm pretty sure. So Camera locks there. I use it from time to time if I'm finding like I'm losing the monster a little bit. But as a melee guy, I don't like the camera lock so much. I need a little bit of freedom. I will say that there is something that they've changed with the item select. You still have your bar. You still have your, like, you know, you hold down L1 or whichever you've bound it to. And then you scroll from side to side. But they've also given like a quick access wheel. They've given a wheel. And this wheel is all based off... And you can change some options in this so that it doesn't automatically activate. But when you go to select your item and you have the wheel, it takes over the camera control. So now when you go into your items, you can't change the camera. You're stuck in the whatever camera position you had beforehand. So I would personally prefer control over the camera than a damn quick access wheel. It got to the point where I got so sick of the damn thing that I deselected all the favorites and just the wheel did not exist anymore. Because I kept, like, you know, pushing up or something like that, and my damn whetstone would go off. Or, you know, my damn heal would go off when I didn't want to, and the monster comes in and kills me. And I was just like, this is so annoying. So, yeah. The quick access wheel is good in places. Like, it came in handy, so you don't have to flick through everything, but I need to get used to that. I need to get used to that a little bit. I think, you know, when it comes out fully, it will be good. Here, you know, in the footage right now, is the turf war stuff. This is when another monster meets another monster. That's the Great Jagras versus the Anjanath. Anjanath's just throwing the Great Jagras around like a freaking paper doll. It is nothing to it. It was very, very cool to see. Very, very cool to see these monsters just fighting each other. You know, it was, you know, it's more realistic, it's more animalistic. It's what you would expect in these ecosystems where you have, you know, the food chain. The Great Jagras is not as powerful as the Anjanath, so it's gonna get its ass kicked every time. You know, I dug that. I dug that a lot. That's turf war stuff that just happens, and they can randomly happen. They come in and they just fight. I've heard things of someone was fighting Rathalos, then the Anjanath showed up, and Rathalos started fighting the Anjanath. Then the Great Jagras showed up, and they all started fighting. It was just craziness. So I like it. I think that was kind of cool. So yeah, there are a lot of other little changes there. You know, the beta's there. Go see for yourself if you have a PS4. There's definitely some good stuff. Like I said, you know, with the items, like the tent. The tent's fantastic. And all that stuff. Very, very good. Performance. How did the beta actually perform on the PS4? Now, I played it on a standard PS4. I'm getting the PS4 Pro before the release of Monster Hunter. Mainly because I do need a new PS4, so I might as well go for a Pro. And I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter a lot, so. From what I could tell with the normal PS4, it struggles in places. It struggles quite a lot. It blurs a lot, especially when you load in. When you come into a hunt, everything's quite blurry. You know, it's faded. It's got a lot of motion blur on it. So that's a thing. Stuff that I've noticed being on the peripheral of my focus, of the camera focus, like animations and stuff. Very, like, you know, very clicky, very, you know, not smooth or anything. But then when you focus on it, it's nice and smooth. So they're definitely hiding stuff on the sides when you're not seeing, to kind of keep the performance going. It is definitely pushing the PS4 to its limits. It really is. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this on a PC. This on a PC would be so beautiful. So beautiful. It's beautiful now. But on a PC, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And if it's like, you know, 60 plus FPS and stuff, oh, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a damn good time. I will happily buy it again. I'll happily buy it again. So hopefully that's not too far away, but we have not got a date on the PC. From what I've seen from, like, obviously these are through, like, streams and stuff with the PS4 Pro. A little bit better performance. The graphics look a little bit better in places. Doesn't look blurred out so much. The FPS is a little higher in places. But I've even heard, like, they struggled from time to time with some stuff. But the game's not crashed for me in any way. The only crashes I've had are in multiplayer, where I've been kicked out of the just dropped from the party randomly. Once in the fight, a few other times while I was actually in the when I was actually in the lobby and stuff. So hopefully I think that's just matchmaking stuff, so hopefully they can work out that stuff. I'm not sure if this is, I think this is peer-to-peer, so that's a thing. But yeah, definitely what I'd expect out of a console, like a very high, requirement, game for a console. It's definitely pushing the PS4 to its limits, and I can't wait for it to come on PC. I cannot wait. So there is a training room now, which is very, very handy. It's, it's a great place because you go in there, you got your weapons, you got all the others and stuff, and it's got combos on the side, and you just go in there and you just try stuff. And you can, I was in there, practicing with the charge blade and stuff because I hadn't used it very much prior, so I kind of wanted to try out some new things. I like it. I like it a lot because it allows you to go in there and just practice. Like, maybe you go into a hunt with a new weapon and you don't do so well, and you kind of want to practice a little more. The training room's there. I love that. I love that they've done this. It's, for me, I've kind of would have want this in a lot of other Monster Hunter games. It lets you just, try out weapons, try out different things. It's good. And it all sits it out for you. It's like a fighting game. When you go into a practice training room on a fighting game. It's all there. It's all there. And I really liked it. And I felt like when I came out of that, I understood the weapon a lot more. And I understood, what I should be doing, what I should not be doing, and how each combo leads into each other. And, so there's no real downtime in your combos and stuff. So I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And it allowed me to, like the bow. The bow I don't really play so much. So it was nice to go in and try the bow out without going into a hunt, without going off and doing, other stuff, just so I could give it a go and just have fun with it and see what I could do with it and see what its limitations are. Do I like the play style? Do I like the feel of it? It's a welcome sight. I really did enjoy the training room. It was great. It was really good. Our little cat friends, the Palicos, they're actually really, really good this one. They have a lot of little things that they bring to the table here. Especially, if you're playing, single or just have, 2 people, you bring your cats along and stuff. They literally recruit other creatures, other little monsters that they can ride. Like, there's, moments where, my little kitty will jump on a Jaggeris and ride it around. Or jump on, whatever that we've encountered throughout and just fight the monster. They have abilities that you can actually, make them use. The one I have on mine in this one is a heal, which lets this, big glow bug come out, and they fly along, and it explodes on me, and I get healed. And he'll do that, normally. He'll just do that normally, by himself. When my health is low enough, he'll just do it, and that's fine. But there is actually an item in your thing which will allow you to do it. That will make him do it, so you can decide when you want the heal. So gone are the days of when your Palico has flutes and the rest of it, and you're like, dude, just blow the damn horn. Please, just heal me, or give me the attack buff, or give me this, or give me that. It's great. From what I could see, there were 2 other items that you could give him, abilities that you could give him. One was a stun thing. It was a big sort of, Like he puts this plant down and then you hit it and there was a stun plant and just big bright light comes out and, you know, stuns monsters and stuff. And the other one was a big mask, this big shield mask thing, and it was a taunt. It was a taunt, and it was, you know, so the monster will go after him. So I like it. I like what they've done with the Palicos. You know, they got all their little armor sets and stuff. You can give them different weapons, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. They've done good things with your little companions, so I like it. Customization, I will say that customization is actually, you know, decent. We didn't see much of it in this one. They were, you know, they just gave us, I think, about six faces that you could choose from. They did say, like, in the actual game, you would be able to customize your character. Mainly because they've given you ability to hide your helmet. So, like a lot of MMO RPG sort of things that have helmets and stuff that you equip, you can hide it. So you can see your pretty face, and you can have, you know, your person that you design, you can actually see it. So customization is actually a thing, and it's the same with your Palico. You can customize him. You can make it his furs, all the stuff like that. So that was cool too. So I think that's good that they've added that, you know, that little thing, because I like customizing. You know, like my little MMORPG thing is like, you know, making your character yours. And it, you know, you could do that in other Monster Hunters, but it was never really the same. And you always had a helmet on, so it didn't matter anyway. This time it does matter because you can see your face. So that was good. That was good. But yeah, it was the beta. It was fun. It was fun to play. It was fun. Really, like, I'm still playing it. It was great to see it. It was very limited. Like, there's, like, I don't even think we had, like, trank bombs or anything like that, so you couldn't cap any you know, any monsters. The surprise, I think, for a lot of people that we didn't really realize, was the additional monsters that were in the zones that we did not expect. Yeah, we got told that there were 3 hunts. You know, there was Great Jagras, Baroth, and then Anjanath. But there was actually, I think 4, potentially 5, because I've seen one more. There was Jotodorus, which is like this sort of mud Plesios. I think he's been in other Monster Hunters. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Can't remember anything. But he was like this little mud sort of fish thing. Pretty easy. It was like on the level of the Jagras, so an easy one for that. It was sort of like the 3 levels through each of the 2 zones that we got to see. So you had the Jotodorus, I think it was called, and then you had Diabolus as well within the Baroth zone. So Diabolus was there as well, which was cool to see. And then in the Forest zone, you had the Great Jagras, Anjanath, and Rathalos. So that was a nice little additional thing that they threw in there for us. So, and I completely forgot, you know, like, sort of unstable environment where, you know, you could have multiple things in there. So that was quite cool. But I swear there's one more in the Forest zone. I'm pretty sure. Like, I saw this on stream. I'm pretty sure that and there's clips and stuff of it, that the Puke is actually in this as well. That it's somewhere in the Forest zone, and it appeared out of nowhere. It attacked the guy that I was watching. He attacked him while he was mounted on another. I think it was the Anjanath. No, it was the Jagras. So it was there. It was there. The Puke was there as well. So it's cool. It's cool that they put those in. So I mean, you get nothing from killing them. But it was nice to, you know, once you bet the hunts, that there was other stuff to do, like going off and trying to beat Rathalos and beating Diabolus and stuff like that, which were tough, by the way. It was quite tough because, you know, you're using weapons and armor that you would not typically use when going up against them. Like, the armor values and stuff are just not in the right, you know, they're not with you at that point, so It was fun. It was fun to see that. And then obviously, you know, you had fishing and stuff too. So there was other stuff to do, which I was surprised about. And I'm very happy with where it is. I'm very happy with where Monster Hunter World is. I think a few little tweaks. I think the stun mechanic that's going on. I think you get, like, if you get hit decently, like, twice or something like that, you get stunned, and it's a long stun animation. I would prefer, like, maybe they gotta tweak that a little bit. Like, it got to the point where I got so sick of it that I went and got all the stun resistance gear and put it on. That was a thing there. So maybe I don't know if they need to tweak that or not. I probably just have to understand it a little more. And yeah, I'm digging where it is. I'm digging where it is. I think everything looks very, very good. I can't wait to play it on a PS4 Pro. Hopefully it feels, you know, the FPS is up a little more. Graphics look a little more cleaner. It's just, you know, I feel like it's at the top end of the PS4's capabilities. And it's, like, the fan is going on that thing. And I think it's chugging. It's chugging a little bit. And it would be very nice to see this on the PC. It'd be very nice to see it when it comes out on the PC. Which is hopefully, like, you know, a few months after. I would prefer it, you know, May, you know, maybe something like that. But I don't know. It's Capcom. We don't know what happens. But I'm very happy. I'm a very happy man. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.